Do you expect Ananda village to be here in 100 years? What will it be like then? I do expect it to be here in 100 years. I expect that this is the beginning of a great wave of communities going around the world. My guru, Paramhansa Yogananda, said that the idea of starting communities would spread through the world like wildfire. I've explained the conditions that will make it do so. We are on the forefront of this movement. I would like to urge you to get into the next tier, you might say. But I think that this will be a new way. I think that cities are a disease. Mahatma Gandhi described them that way. It's very difficult at close quarters with people to be gracious to everybody. I remember going out of a door in New York City and bumping somebody who was too close to the door, and I didn't see him coming. And I said, "Excuse me, I didn't see you." He said, snarled back at me and walked on. And you don't find many kind words in New York. In fact, it's astonishing. Some years ago in Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, which is almost a suburb of New York, it's actually very close to the city. And a friend of mine had me there and asked me to sing some of the songs I've written. She had a party, sort of not a garden party in the usual sense, but a barbecue or buffet dinner, something outdoors. And before we did this, she asked me if I would sing some of my songs. So I sang a song, and everybody was looking at the ground and at the sky and like this. And I thought, well, gee, if they don't like it, I don't want to impose it on them. But she had asked me to sing, so I sang one or two more songs. And then I said, well, let's eat. And so they all stampeded for the table, and nobody said anything about my music. And the next day I was in a car with what looked like the head or leader of that particular group of friends. And so I asked him, I was curious, because no reaction, I can understand a negative reaction, but no reaction seemed a little extreme. I said, well, how do you like my music? It's all right, I guess. Well, I thought it was okay, but then he went on to say, in fact, I have a cassette of it, and I play it in my car every day I go to work. I thought that he likes it. Why can't he say so? This thought of, I can't say I love you, I like this, I love that. The most you'll find people saying is, it's all right, or it's nice. Everybody's afraid of putting his heart on his sleeve, opening up his feelings for fear that he's going to be snapped at or criticized in some way. Well, that's what city living tends to do to a person. And I think living in the country, living in small groups of people, and not in the usual village where they've gathered together not out of any sense of communion or mutual commitment, but only because there happens to be a port nearby, or there happens to be a farm nearby, or there's some economic reason for them gathering in groups like that. But there's gossip, there's all sorts of backbiting and so on. But in a community where people gather together with a mutual commitment to a high ideal, this is altogether different. I've lived this. Ananda is in it's completed its 40th anniversary of existence. We have several branch communities around the world. And we have found that it's an absolutely marvelous way to live. Somebody came here from India recently and he'd been here once before, but this time he had a chance to be here for a whole week and to meet many people and sort of talk to them in informal settings and so on. He said, what I'm amazed at is that everybody's positive, everybody's kind, everybody's friendly. It's not an attitude they put on for strangers. And this is the truth. There's no need to be defensive when you're among friends. And so I think that communities are the future. People have had to gather in cities because of their need for employment. Nowadays, more and more, it's becoming possible to support yourself out in the country, while with computers and internet and all the different ways that we have of interfacing with people around the world, what to speak with people in an office. And so I think that it's going to become more and more possible, and that in the future we will have small cities and many, many communities around the country and around the world. So will Ananda be here? I think it will remain here as the museum piece, you might say, but I would like it to be alive too. And I would like to feel that people will live here. One thing that's very important in communities is that the leaders be giving and not power hungry. I've never appointed people to leadership positions who wanted to be leaders. I've always made it a point to select those who wanted to give to others and to serve others. Leadership has no more importance than being a blacksmith. It's just a particular talent that some people have and some people don't have. But the essence of good leadership is not only being able to come up with good answers, but also to offer those answers and to offer one's talk and service and everything one does to the benefit of other people, and not to think in terms of what am I getting out of this.